Hi children. In the previous section, we have studied different types of angles. I hope that you completed your notebook and worksheet and you have studied these different types of angles. Let us recall that previous class we studied um, adjacent angles, complement angles, supplementary angles, linear pairs, vertically opposite angles. In this section, we will discuss some pairs of lines and some special angles. Let us see.
Intersecting lines. When two lines meet at a point, they are called intersecting lines. The common point is called point of intersection. The letter Y made up of line segments and the grill door of a window are examples of intersecting lines. In the figure, two lines L and M intersect at a point O. This point O is called the point of intersection. Parallel lines. Parallel lines are lines on a plane that do not meet anywhere. In the figure, line L is parallel to line M. And this fact is denoted by L parallel to M. Transversal. A line that intersects two or more lines at distinct points is called a transversal. In the figure, two lines L and M have been cut by a transversal P, intersecting the two lines at points M and N respectively. The points M and N are called a point of intersection. When a transversal intersects two or more lines, it makes different kinds of angles with those lines. Line L and M cut by a transversal P. The 8 angles marked 1 to 8 have their special names. Let us see what those angles are.
In the figure, line L and M cut by a transversal P. It makes different kinds of angles with those lines. Angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, angle 4, angle 5, angle 6, angle 7, angle 8. These 8 angles are different names. Let us see which. First of all, when you observe these, you can see that few angles are in the exterior part of the line and few are inside the lines. Here, line L and M, inside this line, between these two lines, there are 4 angles, angle 4, angle 3, angle 5 and angle 6. Such angles, the angles between the lines is known as interior angles. Now see another angle. Angle 1, angle 2, angle 7 and angle 8 are known as exterior angles. That is not inside the line. So it will be known as angle 1, angle 2, angle 7 and angle 8 is known as exterior angles. Angle 4, angle 3, angle 5 and angle 6 are interior angles. Now you can observe, earlier you studied vertically opposite angles and linear pairs. Here also you can see angle 1 and angle 2 are linear pair. Angle 1 and angle 3 are vertically opposite. So many pairs of vertically angles and linear pairs you can observe here. Now, another pair of angles is corresponding angles. Angle 1 and angle 5 are known as corresponding angles. The corresponding angles include different vertices and they are on the same side of the transversal, one of which is exterior and another one is interior angle, but they together they do not form a linear pair. Such angles are called corresponding angles. So one pair of corresponding angles is angle 1 and angle 5. The other pair you can see angle 2 and angle 6. Angle 4 and angle 8. Angle 3 and angle 7. Such pairs are called corresponding angles. So the corresponding angles have different vertices, they are on the same side of the transversal and they are in corresponding position relative to the two lines L and M. So we can write the pair of corresponding angles. Corresponding angles. First one, angle 1 and angle 5. One pair is angle 1 and angle 5 are one pair of corresponding angles. Another pair is angle 2 and angle 6. Another pair is angle 4 and angle 8. Next pair is angle 3 and angle 7. So these pairs of angles are called the corresponding angles. When you observe these angles, you can see one of in both the this pair, one angle is in exterior angle, another one is a interior angle, but they do not form a linear pair. Here also, if you observe this 6 and 7, one is interior and one is exterior, but they form a linear pair, so it is not a corresponding angle. I hope that you understand what is a corresponding angle. So, such pair of angles are known as corresponding angles. So, the corresponding angles, when you draw, you can see that two lines and there will be a transversal. These two lines are cut by a transversal. So, there are angles, 8 angles are formed. If you draw separately, angle 1 and angle 5 is known as corresponding angles. They have different vertices. They are on the same side of the transversal and are in corresponding position relating to these lines. Angle 2 and angle 6, it is corresponding angles. And pair angle 4 and angle 8 are corresponding angles. Angle 3 and angle 7 are corresponding angle. When you observe, you can see one of the angle is interior, another one is exterior. This is interior angle and this is exterior angle, but they do not form a linear pair. Now you can see the next pair of angles. Observe this interior angle. Angle 4, angle 3, angle 5 and angle 6 are interior angles. Here angle 4 and angle 6 are known as alternate interior angles. So angle 4 is just opposite to angle 6. That is, angle 6 is opposite side of this transversal. So interior, they are known as alternate interior angles. Alternate interior. Next pair is alternate interior angles. So identify the alternate interior angles. Two lines intersected by a transversal. 4 interior angles are formed. The angle 4 and angle 6 are alternate interior angles, and the same way angle 3 and angle 5 are known as alternate interior angles. So you can pair two pairs of alternate interior angle. One is angle 4 and angle 6. Another one is angle 3 and angle 5. So alternate interior angles have different vertices and they are on the opposite sides of the transversal. Opposite sides of the transversal, and they lies between the lines. So 3 conditions we have to check it. They have different vertices. They are on the opposite sides of the transversal and they lies between the lines. So such pair of angles are called alternate interior angles. And one more thing you can observe here. Here angle 3 and angle 6, they are on the same side of the transversal. These two interior angles on the same side of the transversal, or angle 5 and angle 4, they are on the same side of the transversal. So such pair of angles you can say interior angles on the same side of the transversal. So interior angles on the same side of the transversal are angle 3 and angle 6. The next pair is angle 4 and angle 5. Now we discuss different types of angles. Let us revise once more. Angle 1 and angle 5 are corresponding angles, and angle 4 and angle 6 are alternate interior angles. Angle 3 and angle 6 are interior angles on the same side of the transversal. Next we are discussing about transversal of parallel lines. We know about the parallel lines. Parallel lines are lines on a plane that do not meet anywhere. So if there are in this figure there are two parallel lines, line L and M. Line L is parallel to line M. We are denoting the parallel lines using this symbol. L is parallel to M. Line L parallel to M. So here we can see that the transversal P cut these two parallel lines at two distinct points. So if a transversal cut two parallel lines, the angles, each pair of angles are equal. The very interesting result you will get it from this. Here a pair of angle 1 and angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, angle 4, angle 5, angle 6, angle 7, angle 8. Here, and each pair of corresponding angles, the one pair of corresponding angles, angle 1 and angle 5. Each pair of corresponding angles are equal when if a transversal intersect two parallel lines, or two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, then each pair of corresponding angles are equal. This we can prove it by using one activity. You can trace a paper, you can mark this angle, you can trace the paper, and or you can cut this angle and keep it on the top of this angle 5. You can see that both are coincident. That means their angles are equal. Or using a protractor, you can measure the angle. You can see that angle 1 is equal to angle 5. Only when these two lines are parallel. If two lines are cut by a transversal, then each pair of corresponding angles are equal. That means angle 1 is equal to angle 5. That's the one pair of corresponding angles. Similarly, angle 2 is equal to angle 6. Angle 4 is equal to angle 8. Angle 3 is equal to angle 7. So, when two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, then each pair of corresponding angles are equal. Suppose this angle is equal to 100 degree, then angle 5 also equal to 100 degree. And if angle 1 is 100, then you can see what is angle 2. Here we know that angle 1 and angle 2 are what type of angles? They are linear pairs. In the first section we studied about the linear pairs. So we can see that a ray stands on a straight line. So angle 1 and angle 2 forms a linear pair. So one of the angle is 100 degree, then angle 2 is equal to 80 degree. They are linear pairs. And next, if corresponding angles are equal, then we can see that vertically opposite. Here one linear pair we see that, and the same way you can see the vertically opposite angles. We already know that vertically opposite angles are equal. Angle 1 is equal to angle 3. They are vertically opposite angles. So consider this angle 1 is equal to angle 3. And now we prove, get it that angle 1 is equal to angle 5. Angle 1 is equal to angle 5 because they are a pair of corresponding angles. If two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, then each pair of corresponding angles are equal. So we got angle 1 is equal to angle 5. We know that angle 1 is equal to angle 3. They are vertically opposite angle. So angle 1 is equal to angle 3, and the same way angle 1 is also equal to angle 5. So from these two we can say that therefore angle 3 is equal to angle 5. See, what is this angle 3 and angle 5? Angle 3, look at this angle 3 and angle 5. What type of angles? What is the name of these two angles? They are alternate interior angles. So now we got, using this, we proved that and alternate interior angles are equal. We got it, angle 3 is equal to angle 5. That means alternate interior angles are equal. So we got two results. First one is, if two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, then each pair of corresponding angles are equal. Angle 1 is equal to angle 5, angle 2 equal to angle 6, angle 4 is equal to angle 8, angle 3 is equal to angle 7. Using that, we find the next one, alternate interior angles also equal. We are using vertically opposite angle and corresponding angles property. We are getting the third one, the next result, that is angle 3 is equal to angle 5. That means the alternate interior angles are equal. So we can identify another pair of alternate interior angles. Here another pair is angle 4 and angle 6. Here angle 3 is equal to angle 5. Similarly, we can write angle 4 is equal to angle 6. Now we know that angle 3 is equal to angle 5. They are alternate interior angles. And here we know that angle 4 and angle 3 are linear pairs. They form a straight line. So angle 4 and angle 3 are linear pairs. So angle 4 plus angle 3, sum of these angles are equal to 180 degree. Angles in a linear pair are always 180, or sum of the angles in a linear pair are 180 degree. So angle 4 plus angle 3 is equal to 180 degree. Now we know angle 3 is equal to angle 5. So instead of angle 3, we can substitute angle 5 because they are equal. So we got it, angle 4 instead of angle 3. This angle 3 is equal to angle 5. So you can substitute angle 5 here. So angle 4 plus angle 5 is equal to 180 degree. We just substitute for angle 3 because angle 3 is equal to angle 5. They are alternate interior angles. So line L is parallel to line M. Therefore alternate interior angles are equal. So we, instead of angle 3, we substitute angle 5. We got angle 4 plus angle 5 is equal to 180 degree. Angle 4 plus angle 5. They are interior angles on the same side of the transversal. Now we got the interior angles on the same side of the transversal are supplementary. Sum of these two angles is equal to 180 degrees. Sum of these two angles, angle 4 plus angle 5 is equal to 180 degree. So the third result is, if two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, then each pair of interior angles on the same side of the transversal, are supplementary. Here we can see two pair of interior angles on the same side of the transversal. One is for angle 4 and angle 5, another one is angle 3 and angle 6. So sum of these two angles, angle 4 plus angle 5 equal to 180 degree when two parallel lines are cut by a transversal. Remember, when two parallel lines are cut by a transversal. If L and M are simply aligned, these conditions not coming. When the lines are parallel and that parallel lines are cut by a transversal, then these properties are satisfied. Angle 4 plus angle 5 is equal to 180 degree. The same way, angle 3 and angle 6 are interior angles on the same side of the transversal. Therefore, they are supplementary. Angle 3 plus angle 6 is also equal to 180 degree. So now we discuss three properties. When two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, then each pair of corresponding angles are equal. And second one is, each pair of alternate interior angles are equal. And third one is, each pair of interior angles on the same side of the transversal are supplementary. It's a very important, useful result. you have to study properly. First of all, you should identify each angle, each pair of angles. What is corresponding angle, what is alternate interior angles, and what is interior angles and on the same side of the transversal, and what is linear pair, what is vertically and opposite angle. If you are able to identify each angle from the figure, it's very easy for you. So remember, when two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, then each pair of corresponding angles and each pair of alternate interior angles are equal, and each sum of the means the pair of interior angles on the same side of the transversal are supplementary. Now we can conclude this topic. Here line N is parallel to line M and P is a transversal. If two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, then we know that the corresponding angles are equal. So suppose this angle is equal to, angle 1 is equal to 100 degree. So if angle 1 is equal to 100 degree, then angle 5 is equal to what? What is angle 5? Angle 1 equal to 100 degree, therefore angle 5 is also equal to 100 degree because they are pair of corresponding angles. Corresponding angle, therefore their values are same, their measurements will be same. So angle 1 is equal to angle 5, therefore angle 5 is equal to 100 degree. Now, if angle 1 is equal to 100 degree, then what will be angle 3? We know that angle 3 and angle 1 are vertically opposite angle. So we got angle 3 is equal to 100 degree because vertically opposite angles are equal. Now, angle 1 and angle 2 are linear pairs. One of the angle is 100 degree, then what is angle 2? Angle 2 is equal to 180 minus 100, that is equal to 80 degree because they are linear pairs. Linear pairs are supplementary. One of the angle is 100, then the other will be 180 minus 100, that is equal to 80 degree. Then same way, here angle 2 equal to, we got angle 2 is equal to 80 degree. If angle 2 equal to 80 degree, then what is angle 4? We know that angle 2 and angle 4 are vertically opposite, therefore angle 4 equal to 80 degree. They are vertically opposite angles. We know vertically opposite angles are equal. Then here we got it, angle 5 is equal to 100. Same way, we can, if angle 5 equal to 100, very easily we can find out angle 7 because they are vertically opposite angles. So angle 7 is equal to 100 degree. And we know that angle 5 and angle 6 are linear pairs, or we can use the alternate interior angle property. Here we know that angle 4 is equal to 80 degree. If angle 4 equal to 80 degree, then angle 4 is equal to angle 6 because they are alternate interior angles. If two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, then alternate interior angles are equal. So angle 4 equal to 80, therefore angle 6 also equal to 80 degree. Now, if you know angle 6 equal to 80 degree, then angle 8 is equal to 80 degree because they are vertically opposite angles. So using one of the angle, we find all other angles. If you know any one of the angle, you can find out all other angle using this property.
So today we learned about different types of angles like corresponding angles, alternate interior angles and interior angles on the same side of transversal. And we studied some properties like when a transversal cut two parallel lines, then each pair of corresponding angles are equal. And each pair of alternate interior angles are equal. When a transversal cut two parallel lines, each pair of interior angles on the same side of transversal are supplementary. So today you have to note down these important points in your notebook. You should read your textbook 2 or 3 times. Prepare your own note. Today's your worksheet is exercise 5.2, question number 1, 2 and 3.